chilly night in New York City. Knicks and the Celtics at Madison Square Garden. Our starting lineups brought to you by Infinity Luxury Cars that deliver inspired performance. And this starting five for the Knicks really starting to develop some nice chemistry. Same five for Derek Fisher. Meanwhile, for the Celtics, Thomas and Avery Bradley, he was hurt a bit. He's back. Kelly Olynyk in the starting lineup now with Amir Johnson, the former Raptor, and Jay Crowder, who has had a fine season for Brad Stevens and the Boston Celtics. And this Knicks team now, again, a game under 500. They've won 3 in a row here at Madison Square Garden. Clyde, seeing some of the best overall team play over the last 10 days than we've seen in a while.
Yeah, it's all coming together for the Knicks. The first unit, Melo providing the impetus. The second unit, Thomas having a career year. The defensive intensity, the timely hooping. So all these things have the Knicks on the rampage now.
And again, a thing we've talked about quite a bit has been shortening of the rotation. Guys are really getting comfortable knowing exactly when they're coming in, when they're coming out, who they're playing with. It really rarely over the last 10 days has not changed from game to game.
And you can sense it from the crowd too. The crowd is into the games now. Very energizing crowd here. Another capacity crowd at the world's most famous arena.
Second meeting of the season between the two. The first one was December 27th in Boston. Knicks lost that game by 9 and only shot 37% from the field. And now this is the second of the 4 meetings between the two.
Both teams shoot poorly, Mike, from the field. Only 43%. 33 from downtown. The Knicks still #1 in the league from free throw line. 81%. The Celtics around 77.
And the Knicks wearing those hardwood classic uniforms that were on display back from 1953 to 1961. They've been playing music from back in those days, before the game and during.
Hey, don't knock it.
No, I love it, Clyde. I'm afraid you're going to start singing. Crowder, Anthony right up on him and forces a travel.
Yeah, the Celtics average 14 turnovers. Celtics might have the shortest starting team in the league. Very diminutive backcourt. Thomas 5'9", Bradley 6'2".
There's Brad Stevens. And while much has been made about Carmelo Anthony and his passing, which has been very good, to me, Clyde, in many ways, it's his defense, the commitment he's had to defense that has really been key.
Yeah, let's energize the other players to work more diligently on the defense. Seeing Melo working.
Porzingis does not handle the pass. Knicks turn it over. Isaiah Thomas gets in the lane, floats up the hook shot. He has got an array of shots once he gets into the lane. And he had a good game against the Knicks at 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists against the Knicks in that game in Boston. Porzingis against Olynyk. Oh, and a foul on Olynyk.
So redemption time for KP. He was just honored before the game again. Rookie of the month in the Eastern Conference. So previously turned the ball over. This time able to draw the foul to get to the line.
And he's again 7th in the NBA in blocks per game. And as he hits the free throw, and he got a nice ovation a couple of minutes ago when he received the award. That's 2 straight months. He wins it in the East. Karl Anthony Towns wins it in the West. That's been the case so far. A rare miss at the line for Porzingis, who's shooting just under 87% free throws. Johnson to Bradley. Avery Bradley in his much improved jumper puts the Celtics up 3. Boston, a good road team. They're 10-8. And Isaiah Thomas, his 2 big scoring games this year, when he had 35 and 38, were both on the road. Porzingis catch goes to the back shot. It is hardwood classics night.
Yeah. Money in the bank for KP.
It's amazing how few players use that now, Clyde.
Too old school, Mike.
Ball knocked away. Good defense. As a follow down the other end. Shoots over Bradley. And he got hit. Celtics had this problem the other game against Memphis as the Grizzlies shot 40 free throws. They're a very good defensive team. An aggressive physical defensive team.
But they hack and whack, Mike. Of the 30 teams, the Celtics 29th in hacking and whacking. So Olynyk previously fouling KP. And this time Bradley sending double-A to the line. He has one more coming.
That was the difference in the game for Brad Stevens' team the other night. And they lost by 3 at Memphis. And Memphis 35 for 40 from the free throw line.
Plus they squandered a 21-point lead, Mike, in the process.
Yeah, they got outscored badly in the fourth. Thomas looking for an opening. Finds it, fires, short, rebound deflected. Anthony with the hustle comes up with a play. Calderon to Porzingis. Back out Anthony on the fake and lifted his pivot foot of travel.
Both teams hot to trot tonight. Early turnovers as the Celtics will have it in the backcourt.
I get a feeling the NBA refs recently all received an email saying to call that play more often. We've seen a lot of those where the player lifts the pivot foot before he puts the ball on the floor. I've seen it a lot last week called. Bradley the floater. Lopez trying to pull it down. Aflalo comes up with it. Jose Calderon, who had another good game against the Bucks the other night, running the show.
Double A looking to exploit Thomas.
Porzingis fakes back to Aflalo, shoots over Isaiah Thomas, and Olynyk with a rebound.
Lopez threw his shoe off the court, Mike. He only has one shoe on.
And they're playing defense with a mismatch here. Crowder posting up Calderon.
Knicks are going to need a timeout to get Lopez's shoe back.
Roger Hines, the head athletic trainer, has it. Anthony fires away and hits a three-pointer. Lopez still without the shoot. Thomas gets inside, misses, and the foul by Amir Johnson.
With Thomas slicing and dicing, giving Amir that opportunity.
Good pace back and forth in this one. Celtics do like to push the pace. Porzingis hits a three. Back-to-back threes for the Knicks.
Knicks average 7 threes a game. So it's starting to erupt from downtown.
Porzingis with 6 points. He's hit both of his field goal attempts. Crowder, pass deflected.
Lopez still doesn't have time to put his shoe on. Well, he will now.
Officials will not wait for it. He has it on. He just hasn't tied it. 8 to shoot. Thomas looking. Crowder finds Johnson. Johnson's going to have to put it up. Just gets it off in time and banks it in.
You talking about banking and thanking? I don't know if he called that one.
Lopez finally has the shoe on properly, but it's still not tied. As the Knicks lead has been cut to 1. Aflalo, nice feed inside from Calderon, and they waved it off. Said he pushed off. That's good. Called against Lopez.
Let's take a look at Lopez's shoe woes. Right in the paint, it comes off. So he's just going to throw it off the court. And it's the kid giving it back. He slips it on.
Johnson trying to knock it away.
It should be a technical. Thomas double dribble, got away with it.
Throws it inside Olynyk. Nice play from Olynyk, recognizing the mismatch.
Olynyk a 7-footer. So Thomas another assist. He averages 6 a game.
Lopez spins against Johnson. Up and under. Oh, great footwork from Lopez.
Wheeling and dealing and thrilling the crowd with that move.
Easy to do the footwork when you have both your sneakers on. Thomas.
Knicks contesting that 3-ball.
Jump shot over Porzingis, gets it to go. And the two teams now are combined 11 for 15. Some good shooting early on as the Celtics lead by 1.
Back door, not there.
Porzingis catches, fires, another three. Kristaps Porzingis 3 for 3 to start. And Brad Stevens quickly calls timeout.
Because Porzingis is all alone. Nobody contesting him as he continues to percolate from downtown.
9 points already.
Watch KP for 3. Celtics in dismay as they talk it over.
Celtics, his team trailing by 2. He's got a very heavy heart tonight. And Stevens found out earlier today that Andrew Smith, who played for him at Butler for 4 years from 2009 to 2013, a very good center, passed away earlier today after about a year battle with cancer. And Stevens was asked about him before tonight's game.
This is really about, when you coach somebody, I mean, you get a lot more out of coaching them than they do from you. So that's I mean, I don't know. I could go on and it wouldn't do him justice. So he was special. He was tough. Set a great example.
Stevens obviously very emotional. He actually left the team last week. They played the Chicago Bulls in a nationally televised game, but he had received word from Smith's family that the end was coming very soon, and he wanted to go see his player one last time. And it was something that he did that touched his current players very much as Anthony drives inside, because the current players know that Stevens is always talking to them, Clyde, about it's family. We're in this together. We mean something to each other, not just as coach and player. And he certainly evidenced that by his relationship with Smith and what he did.
That's why he was a successful coach, Mike. Because the guys knew it wasn't just about the athleticism, but off the court development as a person. So kudos to the coach.
Porzingis gets it back. Flalo gets in the paint. Can't get it to fall. Here's Avery Bradley, one man to beat. Good help defense. Flalo got back and Calderon with a steal. He had 3 steals the other night against Milwaukee.
Knicks are last in the league in steals, and they throw it away.
Ball just slipped out of his hands.
Calderon take it, then he give it.
Crowder steps back, and Crowder hits the three-pointer. He's been averaging the last 2 months about 16 a game. Much improved offensive player. Tough, strong defender. Porzingis way downtown. Kristaps Porzingis with his 3rd three-pointer in less than 7 minutes in this game.
I thought is it a 4th, Mike? You had said he had 9.
He had 9 because he had a 2 and a free throw. He's 3 for 3 from downtown. And Crowder kicks it.
Remember we saw him do one of these at a buzzer beater, but he banked it off the glass. That was from the corner. This time straight on with the switch.
He seems more set and ready and balanced. Gets it again. Extra pass, Anthony. Anthony drives. Pull up 2. Boy, you love again the unselfishness as Anthony points at Porzingis with a smile as they run up the floor.
It's contagious, outrageous now. The addition is switching by these Knicks.
The Knicks with 6 assists already. They're 8 of 10 from the field. Thomas can't hit that time. Porzingis grabs the rebound.
Knicks are getting whatever they want by moving the ball.
That has been the case over the past 5 games. This time Anthony, left side 3, puts it in. Knicks lighting it up early. 9 of 11 from the field and 5 for 5 from downtown.
Good composure by the Celtics, and Melo has made some foolish fouls in the games.
So Carmelo Anthony picks up his first. He wanted to get it initially to Porzingis, who passed up his 3-point attempt. And this time gets a good look. By the Knicks coaching staff, they obviously chart every single shot. The last 5 games, 44% of the Knicks field goal attempts were uncontested. 44, that's a high number. And that shows you the ball movement. And of those 44%, they're shooting 63% on those uncontested shots.
Yeah, that's why they're percolating tonight. Getting a lot of uncontested shots. Forced the Celtics to call a timeout previously. So they're trying to regroup now.
Just shows you the ball movement. Porzingis and Anthony are each 4 for 4. They have 22 total points together.
Crowder's had trouble in the pass against Melo.
Anthony
6'6", Melo 6'8".
Not that time. Porzingis on the follow. It's been a highlight first quarter. For the rookie from Latvia, he's got 14 points in 8 minutes. Amir Johnson tries a 3.
Not his forte. Johnson only 26% shooter from downtown.
Lopez spins against Sullinger, up and under, left-handed.
Knicks invincible, indefensible now. All the Knicks with the knack.
They're 11 for 14 from the field and have 30 points, and there's still 3 minutes remaining. Seven to shoot. Thomas gets in the paint. And foul call on Lopez. That's going to be his second.
Thomas working diligently that time to get away from Calderon.
He feels that Thomas initiated the contact as he's arguing with Rodney Mott.
We mentioned Thomas knows how to do that. Only 5'9", very adept at getting the big guys in trouble. Watch Thomas. Canny, cunning. I thought so right there. If you look at it, he did jump into Lopez.
There's no doubt. Officials are trying to change the way they've called that. For years, it was normally just the defensive player got called for the foul. As Thomas hits that, well, you can watch the Knicks take on the Nets tomorrow on MSG. You can watch the game anywhere with MSG Go. Download now at the App Store or Google Play. MSG Go currently available to Optimum and Xfinity subscribers who receive MSG networks as part of their TV subscription.
Thomas an 89% free throw shooter. That puts him among the leaders in the league.
And Clyde, he's 9th in the league in free throws made for a guy 5'9" who gets to the line. One of the tops in the NBA. Pretty impressive.
Right, like I say, he's not Allen Iverson, a guy with quickness and all of that.
Lance Thomas just made
It's a tremendous basketball IQ.
Thomas just made a mistake and then comes right back with a steal. Calderon for three. Thomas tip won't go, and Sullinger quick outlet.
Thomas the quantum leap above the basket. Isaiah shaking and baking with the right hand.
Isaiah Thomas with 8 points. Well, a little change in the rotation, and again, it's probably because Porzingis playing so well. Lopez, the first starter to come out. Anthony inside. Nice move from Carmelo Anthony to get away from a double team.
We've seen that aggressive play from Melo recently. So this time Calderon overzealous with the foul.
He's trying to say that Thomas fouled. Isaiah Thomas does a good job at drawing those. How about the play of Anthony, Clyde?
Yeah, let's take a look at Melo, man. His creativity, his physicality, his uncanny shot making, swooping and hooping as the Knicks will talk it over.
Just over 2 minutes remaining here in the first time for tonight's bucket chart, brought to you by your hometown KFC. Let's do a Porzingis bucket chart. Look at those, that one three-pointer, Clyde.
Yeah, infinite range by KP. Rewarded with the Rookie of the Month award for November and December, showing why here. Uncanny shooting touch from downtown. But among the rookies, folks, he's got extraordinary stats. First in free throws, second in blocks, first in blocks as well. So third in scoring. And this is why he's been honored every month now in the Eastern Conference for his prowess.
And here's another change in the way Derek Fisher is approaching things as Jonas Jerebko's in the game. Again, he sees a hot player. He's keeping him in. Normally, Porzingis is out of the game as Sullinger misses. Almost tipped in. So shows you the adjustments Fisher's making, which has been a real part of this last 10 days, Clyde.
Yeah, the potpourri of things is why the Knicks are winning now. Other than what Melo is doing, what KP is doing, the coach is also doing a splendid job.
Porzingis misses his first shot. Marcus Smart has come in along with Evan Turner. Jerebko, Sullinger, and Isaiah Thomas stays in the game. Turner the drive. Nice move from Turner.
Turner runs into Thomas that time.
Well, despite all the hot shooting, the Knicks only up by 5. Jaron Grant has come on. Grant inside to a Flalo. Flalo shooting over Smart. His first field goal.
Double A likes to post and toast. So that time 10 feet away in the paint.
Knicks have 8 assists here in the first quarter. Thomas, Grant, nice defensive play with a block. Grant to Porzingis, steps in another three.
Crowd ooh and ah every time KP shoots.
Porzingis knocks it away. Sullinger thought he was fouled. Anthony on the drive. Cross court. Lance Thomas three-pointer. Just off the front of the rim. Just skimmed it as Thomas comes the other way. Grant, another nice defensive play. Porzingis drives on Sullinger. Little jump hook shot rolls in. 16 first quarter points.
With all the kudos for Thomas, He is turnover prone, averaging 3 turnovers, almost has that now.
Most points by a Knick in a quarter this season is 17. Carmelo Anthony did that in Toronto. Porzingis will be one shy of that.
This is the other thing that's propelled the Knicks, Mike. They haven't been hacking and whacking. They have a foul to give here.
Turner misses the follow the rebound. And a superb offensive first quarter comes to an end. Kristaps Porzingis 6 of 8 from the field. 16 points and 4 rebounds. As the Knicks throw 36 points up on the board, they shoot 14 of 21. And after one here at the Garden, Knicks with a 9-point advantage. A first quarter for Carmelo Anthony and Kristaps Porzingis as the two combined to shoot 11 for 14. Each of them played the entire first period. Porzingis with 16 points, 4 rebounds. Anthony with 12 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. As we welcome you back to the Garden, Knicks basketball presented by Chase, and a 9-point lead, Clyde.
Yeah, exhilarating first quarter by these Knicks dishing and swishing. Celtics undaunted, though. As you mentioned, Mike, they're right there.
Watch out!
Kyle Quinn is in the game. Nice feed to Grant. Quinn pumps his fists, getting a chance. And he's kind of on the peripheral of the rotation right now.
Well, we've been impressed with his dishing. Nice little pocket pass that time to find Grant to the hoop.
Bradley shot blocked by Galloway. Galloway and Grant both with blocked shots here early. Derek Williams is in the game as well.
Williams has been catalytic for the second unit, so it's Thomas. Slowly.
4 to shoot. Derek Williams has to throw up a 3. Bradley the rebound.
Knicks meandering too much that time on the offense.
Jerebko runs to the corner and knocks down a 3-pointer.
Right around his season's average for Jerebko. Mike, you mentioned David Lee can't get off the bench, eh?
Nope, he'll have 2 or 3 games where he'll play some solid minutes, whether it's an injury, foul trouble, and then he'll have some where he doesn't play at all. The Celtics, and we talked about this in Boston, Clyde, they have some similarities to the Knicks in terms of as Grant's jumper is good. They have nice depth. It's one of their strengths, but it can also be a detriment because guys sometimes don't play as many minutes as they would like. Sullinger misses. And we've seen what a difference when Derek Fisher has shortened his rotation has made.
Yeah, the efficiency has picked up of those players that he's utilizing. Grant, careless pass.
Finds Derek Williams. Williams, he fumbled it a bit, and that's why he probably got away with that extra step. And the lead is up to 12. As Grant has provided a little spark. And a timeout called by Brad Stevens.
Yeah, Swiss cheese defense by the Celtics. We saw Grant slice and dice inside. And now watch Williams able to get inside. Got a little lucky bounce right there as he hoops off the glass. The Celtics talk it over.
It's gone by here in the second. Knicks with a 12-point advantage over the Celtics. Well, perhaps you've heard the news. MSG announcing today that sold out Mike and the Mad Dog reunion show on March 30th at Radio City Music Hall to benefit the Garden of Dreams Foundation will be simulcast live on MSG Plus, WFAN, and Sirius XM Radio. The show sponsored by Empire City Casino sold out in 24 hours. I'd like to thank Mike Francesa and Chris Russo for coming together for what should be a fun night for a great cause. The team back together, Clyde.
Yeah. Obviously, the people want to see it, Mike. Selling out within one day.
Mike Francesa here tonight watching the game. Meanwhile, Lou Amundsen is in. His first minutes with his new haircut.
Olynyk just inept at time, losing the handle, so the Knicks have it.
8 turnovers for Boston. Amundsen and Derek Williams. Galloway finds Grant. Grant back out to Williams. Hesitated. He had the open 3. Now fires it. Can't hit. Olynyk the rebound. Marcus Smart. Bradley runs to the corner. Bradley's three-pointer short. Rebound right back out to Bradley. Jerebko to Smart. And Smart hits the three. He has really struggled shooting. He's a fantastic young defender.
21% from downtown, Mike. The league average is 34.
And he's only shooting 31% now. He's missed 21 games because of injuries this year. That's part of it. Amundsen's jump shot too strong.
Nixon's gone cold now.
Turner the drive inside Olynyk and misses. Amundsen altering that shot perhaps.
Olynyk should have used glass. Should have banked that ball.
Derek Williams drives to the basket and draws the foul. So a couple of free throws for Williams. Foul is called on Turner, his first.
So after the offensive extravaganza by the Knicks in the first quarter, kind of lull in the action now. Misfiring Knicks, but Williams able to get to the line with the foul. He has one more free throw.
Williams has found a nice niche, Clyde, in terms of he comes off the bench where he's expected to be a spark, be aggressive. And now he's added a little more defensive commitment. And he's been a valuable bench player.
Yeah, the defensive commitment getting him more playing time.
This is his 5th year in the league. His 3rd team. He's played for 5 different head coaches. Smart, not that time. Williams also been doing a good job rebounding last few weeks.
And when he does, you see his versatility. He can bring the ball up the court. Doesn't have to look for the backcourt.
And it's Thomas. Bad pass that time.
Thomas telegraphing that pass.
Knicks by 11. Olynyk has Grant on him. We're going to take advantage there. Kicks it out to Turner. And Turner hits the three.
Early on, and 3 balls catapulting the Knicks. Now the Celtics.
Celtics are 27th in the NBA in three-point percentage, but they're 4 of 9 here in the first half. Grant to Amundsen. Dribbles across the lane.
Celtics have tightened up their defense now.
Galloway back to Thomas. His baseline jumper is good.
Thomas having a career year. Career average of 4 points. Currently averaging 8 now for the Knicks.
Still shooting 64%. Celtics are shooting 50%. Turnovers are what hurt them. Olynyk drives on Amundsen. Steps back. Galloway, I think, got a piece of it.
That time he was trying to use glass. Previously he didn't and missed it. He's having bad luck now with his shooting.
Grant drives. And moving screen called on Amundsen.
That play has bedeviled a lot of big guys in the league. The big guys always moving rather than being stationary. So Amundsen the culprit this time.
That first quarter, fans were delirious with the show that Porzingis and Anthony put on. Celtics though probably trying to get back in the game. Olynyk finds Bradley. Poor defense that time, and Derek Fisher, despite all the hot shooting, sees his lead sliced to 8.
Speaking of slicing, what about Bradley? He's only 6'2". Slicing and dicing with the dunk shot this time. And this is why the Knicks are talking it over.
Over 5 minutes gone by here in the second. Knicks lead once 14 is now 8. Our Cadillac trivia. Carmelo Anthony currently leading the Knicks in scoring and is second in assists. Now, only 5 Knicks in history have led the team in both scoring and assists for a season. Can you name, or how many of those 5 can you name? I hope you can name one.
I can name one. I can name
number 10. That one is a gimme. Porzingis, Anthony, and Aflalo, and Calderon all back in. Derek Williams drives. Olynyk with the foul.
You mentioned the Celtics' propensity for fouls. And Williams, though, was not in the act of shooting this time, so the Knicks have it adjacent to the Celtic bench.
Stevens' team, second team foul, second on Olynyk. Aflalo.
Second unit misfiring now.
Celtics, Olynyk, Smart, Jerebko, Turner, and Bradley on the court. Smart in and out. Derek Williams snatches his 4th rebound already. Brings it up, drives hard, and draws the foul. Olynyk picks up his 3rd. Exactly what you said, Clyde. After his defensive rebound, he's got that ability.
Yeah, he brings it up, showing good versatility. Olynyk not showing much aptitude. The guy's right-handed. Continues to let him go to the right, and that's why you can't deny him. Previous foul was non-shooting, but this time Williams makes the first, has one more.
Here's David Lee. He's played in 30 of the games. He started 4. 30 of their 37. And there's talk about the Celtics because of all the draft picks they have and because they have depth of position. Are they going to make some trades? Lee could be a possibility. And you get the feeling he's been a good soldier as Olynyk nails the 3. But you get the feeling he would, if not going to play more, would like to go someplace where he can. Of course, he sat last year behind Draymond Green after the injury, lost the starting job in Golden State. Defensive 3 seconds, so a 1-shot technical.
We're seeing these frequently now, almost every game. Teams have been culpable. So Melo at the line to shoot.
83% for Carmelo Anthony from the free throw line, which is a little above his career of 81.
Another thing I like to see Melo do, Mike, rather than shoot the free throw, let Calderon shoot it. Let Porzingis shoot it. Give one of these guys a chance to go to that line and get some points.
Calderon's one of the great free throw shooters.
Right.
Flalo will inbounds. Olynyk stays in with the 3 fouls. Crowder back in on Anthony. Anthony steps back, jump shot.
Get that.
Well, as I said, Bradley drives, reverse, misses. Jerebko knocked out of bounds. Knicks ball. I said earlier the Knicks had led by as many as 14. Actually, the biggest lead for them was 12.
There you see the defensive prowess of Porzingis. Bradley getting inside, but could not finish.
Flalo, nice spin. Back out, Porzingis steps. 3-pointer. Too strong. And Derek Williams another rebound. Calderon. Nice feed inside. Williams blocked by Bradley.
Bradley 6'2", Williams 6'8".
Crowd thought there was contact, as did Williams. Turner. His jumper too strong. Williams, his 6th rebound in 7 minutes. Spins, finds Calderon. Out top, Anthony. Fakes the 3, drive inside Porzingis for the stop. 3rd assist for Carmelo Anthony as the Knicks go back up by 10.
A little razzle-dazzle now, but Williams bounding and astounding, igniting the Knicks. Continuing to control the glass, giving the Knicks second opportunities. And watch Melo penetrates his dish. KP slamming and jamming. And watch Bradley 6'2", D. Will 6'8".
That was a foul. Without question. And super slow-mo brought to you by Sprite. Need sudden refreshment? You find it in every lemon lime sip. Ice cold Sprite. Porzingis now with 18 points. As the Knicks back up by double figures.
Celtics defense very porous. Knicks have been able to penetrate and create. And as well as the 3-ball has kind of tapered off. In the first quarter, they were lethal from downtown. But now they're starting to thrive from the free throw line.
Well, for the 2nd year in a row, Lexus teaming up with the Garden of Dreams to raffle off a 2016 Lexus IS 300 F Sport. To purchase your $50 raffle ticket, visit gardenofdreamsfoundation.org/Lexus. All net proceeds will go directly to our favorite charity, the Garden of Dreams Foundation. Olynyk comes off the screen. Can't hit. Rebound. Calderon comes up with it. Porzingis has Evan Turner double teamed up top. Flalo fakes inside. Derek Williams, good recognition from Flalo with a mismatch, and Williams a good play. 8.6 rebounds for Williams off the bench.
More posting and toasting by the Knicks.
Olynyk traveled. He had an open look That's the 10th Boston turnover.
Let's take a look at Williams' havoc in the paint. Flalo dancing. Williams has the mismatch and able to finish.
13 assists for the Knicks as Brad Stevens is watching his team's defense get dissected quite well by the Knicks.
Oh, there's Williams. It was open.
Anthony single coverage with Crowder.
Melo in his office, 15 feet away.
Knocks it down. He's 6 of 8 from the field. Missed the largest lead. Thomas gets inside. Almost right at Porzingis. It really is incredible at 5'9" what he's able to do in the paint.
Yeah, he's used Lopez, the 7-footer. And this time, watch how he does it, folks. Albeit he's 5'9", but he's well built. And tremendous savvy to play the game. So the little Lilliputian thriving in the land of the Gullivers again as he shoots one.
Tonight's drive to the basket brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals. The 2016 models. Our director, Howie Singer, just said in my ear, he's smaller than Porzingis even when he bends over and he puts his hands on his knees. Yet he gets the three-point play. Anthony, catch and shoot. The hesitation cost him there. He was open at first. And here comes Thomas. He's got 11 points.
He was always going north and south.
Steps up, three-pointer. Won't go. Anthony tips it nicely to Williams.
Calderon's been silent tonight.
A Flalo. Calderon's only taken one shot. He has 4 assists. Anthony mid-range jumper's good. Carmelo Anthony and Kristaps Porzingis both are 7 of 10 from the field and a combined 35 points. Thomas again in the paint. Tries again, flips it out to Turner. Turner tries a 3. Anthony grabs his 3rd rebound.
Too lackadaisical, almost turning it over.
Good double team, but Amir Johnson just couldn't corral it. And we'll have a timeout.
Let's take a look at the uncanny shot making of Melo. So he's shown the full repertoire. But what he's doing now, folks, is thriving in the mid-range. That time again, an 18-footer.
Here in the second, Knicks up by 13. Here's our look at the DraftKings of the night spotlight. Porzingis and Anthony both just terrific first halves, offensively efficient as well. And Derek Fisher, before the game in his usual press conference, was asked about Carmelo Anthony and the way he's playing, the overall team play we've seen recently.
I think he's doing a lot of great things. I think he's making the team better by what he's doing individually. But there's still a lot of room for him and for our team to grow in terms of, playing good basketball. I think he's healthy. I think he's enjoying that part of being out on the floor. He can do what he wants to do, and his body can respond. I think all those things are helping him to play some good basketball right now. But the most important part is that the guys are, kind of following him. He's setting the tone that guys are following him.
And the question that was asked to him, Clyde, is what I asked you too: is this the best he's seen Carmelo Anthony now in his 6th year here in New York? Obviously, before that, Denver, as Amir Johnson is fouled, and he didn't want to come out and say yes. But you think no question?
Yeah, it's all around play. Like, he can always score. We know that. But he's doing more than that now. He's rebounding. He's assisting. He's a leader. When you talk about Melo, you never think of leadership. So that's a big factor now. He's a leader.
And that started before training camp with the way he embraced Kristaps Porzingis. The two of them getting together for those one-on-ones, and that makes a huge difference for a rookie, especially a young man who's at the time 19, coming from Latvia, to have your star player embrace you like that. Let's check in with Rebecca with more.
Well, Mike, I talked to a couple of players and asked if they feel that it's different playing with Carmelo Anthony out there now that he's turned all of the assists and all of the defense. And Langston Galloway telling me, yes, I can feel his trust this season, and that makes such a difference in terms of confidence. He said when Melo passes you the ball, you know it's because he believes you're going to hit that shot. And is it team? He said the guys are all feeding off of that. Plus, he says it makes you look at your game and ask the question, am I being as unselfish as possible? So really, guys, he's been helping in a great way by building up his teammates.
Boy, does it filter down. No question about it. Porzingis too strong. The rebound comes out to Crowder. Anthony's hurt. Isaiah Thomas fouled and Anthony down on the floor. Did not see what happened.
I heard a moan from the crowd, though, as he went down.
Right on cue, talking about how well he's been playing. That's Roger Hines, the head athletic trainer. Brad Stevens also looking down at him.
Everybody in that section on their feet now, peeping down at Melo. You could hear the gasp from the crowd when he went down.
Shaking his head like he's okay, but he's going back to the locker room with 1:16 remaining.
Must have hit a wet spot or something over there, Mike.
Ransworth Allen walking off with him. Of course, the first thing you immediately think of is the left knee. He has been playing, again, as well as we've seen him. A hush goes over the crowd, and certainly the team concerned. Let's take a look at the play where it happened. This is the end of it. Can't see on that. See him wincing. Nobody around him except for Steve Anderson, the official, but they didn't get him. I don't know if Clyde, as you say, maybe a wet spot or just turned it off.
Like misstep. Maybe he's trying to back up and just lost his balance.
So obviously we'll get an update as soon as it becomes available.
That's a positive sign right there. Leaving under his own power, walking pretty good.
You can bet Derek Fisher and every player on the Knicks want this 1:16 to go quickly so they can run back to the locker room and find out. Derek Williams comes back in. That foul was on Porzingis, his second.
Knicks can't allow these guys to go on a run, though, Mike. Finish with the flurry here. They got to continue to dominate without Melo.
Again, if you weren't looking up at the scoreboard, you'd think the Knicks are up by 20. Right now it's a chance to make it 10. Thomas now with 13 points. He's 5 for 5 from the line. Calderon looking. Williams tried to go backdoor for a lob.
Celtics tightening up the interior deep.
Porzingis catches. Three-pointer misses. Ball knocked loose. Smart comes down with it. Nearly stolen. Oh, Calderon on fire. Blocked by Johnson. Wow. A couple of great recovery plays.
Persistence personified by both teams.
Bradley misses. Wow. First Calderon with unbelievable hustle, and then Johnson even tops that. Aflalo to Porzingis, misses. Thomas's foul will not count as Porzingis was fouled on his follow. This was some sequence here, Clyde.
Yeah, let's take a look. Smart diving, Calderon. Aflalo from LA, just like Amir Johnson and Aflalo both out of LA. Watch this, give it back to the homeboy. That was very exciting action there, back and forth, guys diving, striving, but KP penetrating, drawing the foul, makes the first free throw as one more.
Porzingis with 20. Thomas lobs it over to Crowder. Calderon on in. Porzingis greets him. Good double team. Back up top to Thomas. Shot clock at 6. Thomas sneaks big inside layup. Is good. He is just amazing.
Slicing and dicing, creating angles.
Final seconds here in the half. Aflalo. Pull-up shot blocked by Thomas. And that will end the first half. Thomas just his second block as the Aflalo and Calderon and Crowder and Thomas all engaging in some chatter. Aflalo was upset about something.
What a dramatic finish, though. The last minute after Melo left. Guys diving and striving, the shot blocking prowess. There's Thomas on the follow.
Crowder coming to the aid. And you saw a technical foul handed out to Aflalo. Meanwhile, Porzingis is with Al after his 20-point half. Al?
Mike Kristaps, players talk about having the game slow down for them a little bit as they get used to playing in this league. Is that happening for you?
I guess so. It gets easier every game. I get more comfortable playing with my teammates, just learning from them, and then the game seems to be easier.
How concerned are you about Carmelo?
I am concerned. He's the leader of the team. I hope he's healthy.
All right, go in and find out how he's doing.
Thank you.
Mike, back to you.
All right, Al, Carmelo Anthony falling down. Again, we didn't get a good clear shot at what made him fall, but he was obviously hurting. The officials checking to see again on the play about the technical foul that appeared to be handed out to Aflalo. Meanwhile, that's our Delta halftime report coming up, including Al's going to talk with Terrence Bud Crawford, the junior welterweight world champ, plus Bill Pino on the Nissan MSG 150. This is what the officials are looking at. Watch Aflalo hit the block shot, and then he got hit in the head. That looked like Thomas was just trying to block it, but then their arms become engaged, and the two of them have to be separated. Crowder stood up for Thomas. Seraphin standing up for Aflalo. Sasha Vujacic looks like he's trying to get everybody to get out of there. Meanwhile, the key for the Knicks right now is to find out how Carmelo Anthony's feeling. 10-point lead at halftime for the Knicks here at the Garden. Delta halftime report is next. Welcome back to New York Knicks basketball, presented by Chase. We're a short time away from starting the third quarter. A couple of minutes ago, Rebecca Harlow spoke with Knicks assistant coach Rashid Hazard.
Thanks, Mike. All right, Coach, first and foremost, we saw Carmelo walk back out here on the floor. How's he doing?
He's fine. I mean, you know, he's not going to sit out the rest of this game. He's a warrior. He's going to come out, give it a try, but he said he was okay.
And in the first half, we saw 20 points for KP, 17 for Carmelo there. How did you see that disrupt Boston and what they're trying to do here on defense?
I mean, as people are starting to see, they're a really good tandem, and they're starting to learn to play off each other. You know, they kind of remind me a little bit of Kobe and Gasol, just the way they have a feel for each other's games. And Melo is showing people how unselfish he can truly be. You know, he has this reputation for many people that he's not a willing passer, but I think he's proven everybody wrong tonight, because not only is he passing to KP, but he set some of the screens for him to get those open threes. So I think he's put that myth to bed now.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Mike?
All right, Rebecca, and this technical free throw being shot. Aaron Aflalo was called for a technical on that little altercation he had with Thomas. So that makes it a 9-point game. Our halftime scoring summary is brought to you by Optimum. The Knicks shot 51% from the field. Meanwhile, Marcus Smart starting the third quarter, and he's guarding Porzingis. Very interesting.
What's even more interesting, the Knicks are not even looking to capitalize on it.
Smart, as we said, is a good, tough defender. A double dribble called on Lopez. But Smart is, well, it's almost a foot shorter. Here's the injury. Watch Carmelo Anthony. And he steps on the foot of Steve Anderson, so it was just a slight turn of the ankle. When we saw it live, it didn't appear like they had made any contact, but that was obviously the case. And Anthony quickly comes out of the game, though, 19 seconds in.
That's an ominous sign, folks. Obviously feeling some pain. Thought he'd give it a go. And stay tuned.
Ankle, as we talk all the time, ankles can give you problems, and can last for a good long time. So right there, kind of just that. You see him; it's obviously bothering him. Kind of looked like he said he just can't push off on it.
You know, the halftime didn't help, Mike. Because you sit around.
Well, I'm sure he was getting treatment the whole half.
Still, you got to try to gear it up again. So like now, if they put him over there on the bike, let him ride the bike while he's sitting. But you can see right here, a little pain right there.
Yep, there's The big difference between just trotting or running up the floor and trying to cut and plant on it. Well, he stays on the bench. I don't know if they'll retape him or how they'll operate it. Smart gets inside. And he gets fouled from behind by Thomas.
Smart has been injury prone. He's played maybe half the games. The Celtics only 16 games. Very athletic, 6'4". Hustle and muscle that time to get into the paint to draw the foul.
Smart was an NBA All-Rookie second team last year. Was the 6th overall pick after 2 years at Oklahoma State. They rave about this guy, Clyde, about his strength, about his toughness, his defense, and his leadership for a young guy.
And that's being personified tonight. That Smart is 6'4", is guarding the 7'3" Porzingis.
So Carmelo Anthony now going back to the locker room once again. Flalo gets the pass. Bradley fouled him on the entry pass. Second foul on Avery Bradley.
What a bizarre play. Melo coming up the court. The official looking down the court. Melo inadvertently steps on his foot, goes down.
Porzingis knocked down. Thomas has it. You can bet Marcus Smart is going to try and be as physical as possible on Porzingis. Thomas, high arcing shot misses. Smart boxing out nicely. Advanced pass to Crowder. What a beautiful look from Thomas to Crowder. And it's suddenly a 6-point game. Despite all the offensive heroics in that first half by the Knicks. It's 59-53. Porzingis likes his height advantage. Here comes the double team. Thomas fakes. Now drives, running shot, and a blocking foul is called. Amir Johnson picks up his first. This was Carmelo Anthony trying to loosen it up after he came out of the game and before he went back to the locker room. That's enough, he says. We'll get an update as soon as we can. Thomas hits the free throw. Knicks once again just excellent at the free throw line. 11 of 12.
Thomas among the leaders, Mike. He's
second.
Yeah, 90% shooting for Thomas from the line. So he's made 18 straight now, looking for 19 with this one.
He's now taken for the season 74 free throw attempts. He's missed only 7.
Yeah, we mentioned a career year for him. Very reliable and prolific coming off the Knicks bench.
Clyde, you know who's #1 in the NBA in free throw percentage? Former Knick Jamal Crawford. Crowder spotting up, not that time. And Lance Thomas the rebound. 8-point game, 90 seconds into this third quarter. You can see the Celtics have amped up their physical play, and Smart called for a foul. Brad Stevens very upset with the call, as is Smart. Smart picks up his second.
Watch Smart. He's going to push off right there on Porzingis. That's why they charge him with the foul.
Flalo gets it in the paint. Little double clutch way off the mark. Didn't follow the shot. Crowder had it. Smart to Crowder. Lopez guarding him. Runner back out to Smart. Thomas pulls back the baseline. We've seen a little bit of everything from Isaiah Thomas. 18 points in 19 minutes.
Winning and grinning now is Thomas as he shaked and baked along the baseline.
Flalo. They lob it into Porzingis, but he rushed it. And then foul Smart. That's 3 on Porzingis. Smart staring at Porzingis. That was not any kind of, that just lost balance, knocked into him.
But you talked about Smart, Mike. Very pugnacious, belligerent right now, doing a good job harassing KP and forcing him into this imprudent foul.
You see the look he gives him as he goes crashing down. Thomas throws it inside to Amir Johnson, and the Knicks lead is cut to 4.
That's the savvy of Thomas, previously along the baseline, this time creating this opportunity for Johnson.
Crowd has gotten a little nervous right now. Thomas Lance, that is, to Porzingis. And banks it in. When you're 6'4", guarding 7'3", there's only so much you can do.
Right, Porzingis just has to get to his spot as he did that time and shoot right over it.
22 for Porzingis. Isaiah Thomas rifles a pass out to Crowder, and that's 4 on Porzingis. And decision time for Derek Fisher with no Carmelo Anthony. Derek Williams quickly gets off the bench.
So let's take a look at the cantankerous Smart right here as he goes down, stares at KP.
Let's see. I think Porzingis will come out now with that 4th foul.
So the Knicks are losing 39 points, folks, with Melo gone and KP. So who's going to pick up the scoring slack?
Anthony back in the locker room having his ankle attended to. Porzingis now with 4 fouls. That's again part of growth when you have to realize, all right, Anthony's back in the locker room. I cannot afford to pick up my 4th. The team cannot afford.
Yep.
Crowder in double figures with 11.
So once the Knicks were cruising and bruising, now doom and gloom looms.
The Knicks 5-4. Flalo. Flalo gets inside. Foul. Lopez right there.
He wasn't fouled because he ran into Lopez. And Lopez, the recipient, with the second effort. Isaiah Thomas slicing.
Can't get it that time. Flalo tips it. Lopez getting his first 2 rebounds on the last 2 possessions.
Calderon, we mentioned the silent night.
He has not looked for a shot at all. Thomas shot blocked by Crowder. Smart throws it ahead to Bradley. Bradley's going to have an easy 2. And it's back to 4. This is a different defensive team to start this 3rd quarter than the Celtics were in the first half.
They're digging in too. They're very focused.
And playing extremely physical. Thomas from the corner. Fouled by Smart. And that's the 3rd foul on Marcus Smart.
Marcus not so smart that time, right in front of the Knick bench. So he's been doing a good job getting KP out of the game. Now he shows folly, sending Thomas to the line.
Thomas 4 points total. Hits again. Tomorrow on MSG, Knicks take on the Nets from Brooklyn. Live coverage begins at 7 with Visa Knicks Game Night. Tip-off shortly after 7:30. Nets now with their 5th coach in the past 5 years with the firing of Lionel Hollins. Tony Brown, a guy who spent a lot of time in the NBA. Tony Brown now the interim coach, was an assistant with 8 different teams. Played in the league for 7 years with 9 different teams. 3 free throws, by the way, for Thomas on the 3-point attempt.
Like our head coach Fisher, he's a native of Little Rock, Arkansas. So that should be interesting for the 2 of them tomorrow night. Remembering this isn't about the past.
Thomas 5 for 5 from the line. Lead is up to 7. Crowder goes at Lopez. Misses, but Johnson right there on the foul.
First half, the Knicks dominated the paint. This 3rd quarter, the Celtics omnipotent in the paint.
Calderon tied up. Finds Derek Williams.
That was a good double. They should have never allowed him to get that pass out of there.
Lopez wants it. Has to come out, and officials may be calling it a little tighter. Brad Stevens not happy. This is the way they like to play defense as Johnson picks up his 2nd. And they're in the penalty.
Yeah, they're too overzealous. We saw Smart with the dubious foul, and now this one to send Lopez to the line. Stevens, interesting story about him, Mike, when he was working for some corporation in Indianapolis, quit to try to become a coach at Butler. Was not on the payroll early on.
And then he wound up taking them to 2 national championship games. He grew up in Indiana, in that area, went to Pacer games as a kid. He's the youngest coach for the Celtics, just 39 years old. youngest coach in the NBA right now.
Still needs his ID with him to get into the arenas.
39, looks like he's about 22, 23.
Alley-oop.
Crowder catches and Crowder finishes. Celtics have done a good job recognizing some mismatches.
Crowder 6'6", Calderon 6'3". Good athleticism by Crowder that time underneath.
69-65. Knicks still lead. They've led for most of the game. But Boston right back in it here in the third.
Definitely feeling like a precarious lead right now for the Knicks.
Lopez to Williams. Williams, one dribble, pulls up, can't hit. Thomas tips it to Lopez. Lopez gathers and lays it in. Lance Thomas with a heads-up play to get it to Robin Lopez.
Lopez thriving in the paint now. Last two buckets have come right underneath.
Amir Johnson. Calderon trying to chase Isaiah Thomas. Johnson sets a screen. Thomas hits again, a two-pointer. They're going to review it, though.
Good screen by Johnson to free him up.
He's got 20. Isaiah Thomas does, coming off a 35-point game Sunday. Flalo against Bradley. Spins, shot's good, and one. Bradley fell down and made some contact, and a Flalo once again with a good move in the paint. We'll have a
Double A for one.
just past the midway point in the third. Of course, the All-Star game coming up is in Toronto this year. And the fans will vote for the stars. So you can vote for your favorite NBA player or your favorite Knick to the 2016 All-Star game. Post their full names and hashtag NBA vote to Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Derek Fisher never made an All-Star team, but won a lot of rings as a player with the Lakers.
5 to be exact.
For an update on Carmelo Anthony, let's check in with Rebecca.
Well, Mike, he has a sprained right ankle. He will not return, but the positive news is that the x-rays did come back negative, but again, sprained right ankle will not return.
All right, Rebecca, thank you. Free throw good, and then a delay of game warning. First one.
Yeah,
Derek Fisher was confused as to the call there.
Lopez knocking the ball away from the Celtics that time.
Lakers getting a kick out of it. Smart. Bradley trying to find some room. Pull-up shot won't go. And a loose ball foul is going to go against Amir Johnson. Johnson is shocked at the call. And more free throws for the Knicks. This happened late in the second quarter. Carmelo Anthony running down the floor, steps on official Steve Anderson's foot. Turns the ankle. Walked off on his own. They had it worked out. Tried to come out in the third quarter, but on the very first possession was wincing as he tried to plant and cut. And as you heard Rebecca just report, done for the game.
After a marvelous first half of Melo, 7 of 10, 1-1 from the line, 4 bounds, 3 assists, 17 points. He is done for the evening. The Knicks trying to hold on. Celtics helping them, sending them to the free throw line. So Lopez has one more.
Knicks 90% from the line. Now 19 of 21. Lead back up to 9.
Early on in this season, Mike, the Knicks were last in sending guys to the free throw line. Now they're only 19. So they really improved in that respect, cutting back on their foul.
Thomas kicks it out. Turner misses. Calderon grabs the rebound. Throws it ahead to a Flalo. Flalo drives into Crowder. Calderon can't hit. Rebound Johnson. Only the second shot attempt from Jose Calderon tonight. 24 minutes. Thomas crossover move, gets in the paint. And Lopez bumps him. Thomas does an unbelievable job of initiating the contact. And when you're 5'9", you never think, all right, it's the younger guy that's, or the smaller guy that's causing it. But he goes into Lopez even on that. He is great at drawing fouls.
He's got upper body strength. You see the development there. And of course, the savvy to break down defenses and get to the line. He's 5'9", but he's 185. You can see he's solid muscle. So good creativity to get to the line.
A second-round pick out of University of Washington, born and raised in Tacoma. He averaged 20 a game one of the years he's with Sacramento. Played with Sacramento, briefly with Phoenix, and now the Celtics. Flalo drives on Crowder. Bank shot is good. Just kind of stayed up in the air. A little bit extra. Flalo. The Knicks will need his scoring with Carmelo Anthony out.
Seeing some creative shot making now by both teams.
And Crowder hits another three-pointer. He's got 16 points. 9 of them here in the third.
Crowder only averaging 14 on the season.
Oh! Stolen by Thomas. Thomas drops and finishes, and it's back to 4 again.
Thomas stealing the Celtics. Lead the league in forcing opposition turnovers. 17 a game. Good job by Thomas that time.
Flalo looking to be aggressive. Again spins, falls away. Not that time. Rebound Johnson.
Feel the momentum picking up now, especially for the Celtics. They cough it up again.
Bad pass that went through a couple of players' legs. Last touch by a Flalo.
Action right in front of the Celtic bench, so the Celtics will have it there.
One of the problems for the Celtics in the first half with turnovers is Grant comes in for Calderon. They had 9 turnovers in the first half. They have not turned it over here in the third.
And they've dug in on the defense.
Yeah, that's been the biggest change.
Yeah.
Knicks had 59 points in the first half. Thomas.
A little air that time for the little man. Hearing it from the crowd.
Says on every single level he played on. Grade school, high school, college, and the pros, they always said, you're too small, you're not going to make it to the next level. Flalo comes up. A Flalo 3. Puts it in as the shot clock expires. Aaron Flalo, who started slowly, now has 8 of his 12 here in the third.
The only other Knick other than Melo that can create and devastate. Good job that time from downtown.
Thomas guarded by Galloway. Thomas again falling away. Shot is good. Boy, what an array of offensive moves.
He's just mesmerizing to watch this guy operate.
26 points in 26 minutes. He also has 6 assists. Grant the high dribble. Steps back. Lopez. The hook shot misses. Crowd loved that Grant crossover. Crowder. Not that time. Rebound tipped by Derek Williams. Lopez finds Grant. Grant throws it ahead to a Flalo. Drives, layup is good. Strong move. He thought it was fouled. As did Derek Fisher as Thomas comes the other way.
Fisher's letting them play. A lot of contact. Not this time with Grant.
Grant called for a foul. We're going to have a timeout. Aaron Flalo with 10 points here in the third quarter. Time for the Taco Bell Live Mas Spotlight.
Yeah, Double A starting to percolate. Previously beating the shot from downtown, the clock. And this time wheeling and dealing along the baseline.
One guy stood up. Flalo with 14 points here in the third. 83-76. Knicks still in front with 2:15 left here in the third. Well, still time to train like the Knicks. You can sign up kids ages 7 to 14 for youth basketball clinics on January 14th. Learn from Knicks and Westchester Knicks players and Liberty legends. You can register at nyknicks.com. Our Cadillac trivia. Kamara Anthony currently leads the Knicks in scoring and second in assists. In Knicks history, only 5 players have led the team in both for a season. How many can you name? Now, we gave you one, which you knew. All Clyde Frazier.
Richie Guerin.
Richie Guerin. And a couple of recent guys.
Michael Ray Richards.
Michael Ray, not so recent. Stephon Marbury and Jamal Crawford. Stephon Marbury, the Chinese icon. He has had some second career and second life over there. And the free throws are good. Thomas, meanwhile, 13 of his 28. Here in the third, he's a perfect 10 for 10 from the line. Lance Thomas at the other end moved his pivot foot.
Good vexing defense that time by Evans.
10 Knicks turnovers. That's another area that's been very important in terms of the Knicks' improvement. The turnovers, much better in that department this year. They're 7th in the NBA in fewest turnovers. Thomas steps back and hits again. And it's a 2-point game. Isaiah Thomas, 31 points in 27 minutes. A 7-0 run by Boston.
It's been an intoxicating array of moves by the little man.
Lance Thomas, too strong. Kevin Seraphin wasn't played in a few games. A little hook comes up short.
It's a little deja vu here for Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas off another screen, rushed that one. Derek Williams had a very strong first half, almost knocked away by Jerebko.
Knicks pretty stagnant now. Ball not moving, they're not moving.
Williams steps back, launches a high shot, in and out. Rebound, Marcus Smart. Seraphin dives on the floor, but Smart takes it away. Here comes Evan Turner. Thomas faked the three. Seraphin's on him. Now puts up the three and can't hit. Jerebko takes the rebound away from Derek Williams.
Jerebko is 6'10", taking it away from the 6'8" Williams.
Sullinger falls down. And a timeout called by Boston.
I hate that rule. That the coach can call a timeout in that scenario.
So Sullinger getting teased a little bit by his teammates. It's still going to be Boston ball.
See Sullinger stumbling and bumbling in the paint. Obviously in disarray, and the coach right now calls the timeout from the bench.
By the way, Seraphin, that's a regular strategy for him. Puts his big body on and then just releases, pulling the chair out from underneath. Seen that be effective several times. Oh, we got a matinee coming up at the Garden. Individual tickets still available for Monday, January 18th against the 76ers. Visit nyknicks.com. Now, Knicks were comfortably in front early in the first half, led by as many as 14 in that second quarter. Kristaps Porzingis had an unbelievable first half where he scored 16 points, but picked up his 4th foul early here in the third. See him next to him. See him, Mike Martinez to the left. That guy's as hard a worker as anybody in the organization.
Yeah,
we rely on him so much. Long-time equipment manager. Smart shot misses. Lance Thomas the rebound.
Good job by Grant harassing him and not fouling in that situation.
Shot clock turned off in what has become a very entertaining game.
And the drama with Melo no longer in the game. Can the Knicks hold on?
Grant trying to find an opening. Drives, falling away. Puts it in at the buzzer. What a difficult shot. Looked like he was losing control, losing balance. They're going to review it. I'm not even certain if it didn't go off the glass.
Obviously it's good. There's plenty of time.
So Grant 3 for 3 from the field. It's a quarter that started with Carmelo Anthony trying to do it on that ankle but couldn't. Celtics overcome a 14-point deficit to cut it to 2. And as we head to the fourth quarter, 85-81, Knicks in front. Welcome back to New York Knicks basketball, presented by Chase. High scoring game, 85-81. As we get set to start at the fourth, our Mercedes-Benz stars of the game, Spike Lee in his usual seat. Ed Burns, a Long Island boy, sitting courtside. Josh Charles from The Good Wife, also courtside. Ice Cube, who got a huge ovation. Actor Ryan Eggold from The Blacklist. And John Franco and Mike Francesa. Franco and Francesa. Sounds like a law firm.
It'd be a good one.
You said Mike Francesa and Chris Mad Dog Russo having that reunion at Radio City with all the proceeds going to the Garden of Dreams Foundation. And John Franco, a former Met, St. John's product. Pass inside goes to Smart. Smart misses and Porzingis the rebound. Here's Grant, drives down the lane, running layup, misses it. Looked like he went off the wrong foot.
Vintage play by Grant now. Attacking the basket, previously switching to beat the game clock.
Jerebko from outside nails the three, and it's a one-point game. The Knicks have led since about midway through the first. The biggest lead was 14. And again, they're playing without Carmelo Anthony. Sprained his ankle at the end of the second quarter. He will not play. Did try to go early third. Aflalo. Turner strips it, knocks it out of bounds.
Aflalo not protecting the ball with his body. So the Knicks will have it underneath.
4.3 to shoot.
See if Porzingis can get back into the flow after sitting a long time.
Porzingis steps back for three. Short. Smart gets a running start. Smart pushes off on Grant. Drives down. Blocked by Porzingis. Solinger has it. Blocked by Porzingis. Jerebko. Short. Ball knocked loose. Grant has it. Taken away by Jerebko. Players diving on the floor. And a foul called on Marcus Smart. What hustle from both teams there.
What about Porzingis? Undaunted with the 4 fouls. Protecting the hoop that time. So he had a couple of blocked shots. The crowd loves the action by the hometown team. Take a look at KP. 1 denial right there. He gets back 2 denials. Again, harassment. Now they're diving and striving. There's the foul, so the Knicks will have it.
Porzingis with great hustle. Jaren Grant with great hustle. Jerebko diving all over. And I want the crowd back into it.
Yeah, playoff intensity now.
Galloway. Thomas bumped. And fouled by Turner.
We mentioned the Celtics 29th in hacking and whacking. So every quarter they've been in the penalty. And now just 10:30 remaining. 2 quick fouls. Yeah, let's go, guys. Coaches like to see players getting those floor burns, diving, striving for the ball.
No foul.
Porzingis finds Aflalo. Aflalo on the drive to the basket. Good aggressive move. What a big second half Aflalo's had without Carmelo Anthony available. 12 of his 16 in the second half. Smart drives and gets it to go.
A defiant Smart that time would not be denied over KP.
His second field goal. Grant goes right at him, and Smart just picked up his 5th foul.
And already the 3rd team foul, so.
Now he's a really good defender, but he's out there just whacking guys.
Well, you know, we saw him in college lose his cool once, going up in the stands, going with a fan. So he's had some problems with his controlling his emotions.
So Grant with the free throw. And he had that incident when he played at Oklahoma State, although you can't obviously ever justify going in. What some of the things that the fan was saying to him, and it was a grown man, was indefensible.
So they're leaving him out there. Well, now like Crowley's going to come and get him.
Solinger steps back. Jump shot is good. Tie game. 88 apiece, and we still have 9.5 to play.
Crowd becoming very boisterous now with the action.
Porzingis fakes. Smart on him again. He started on Porzingis. Grant, open 3. It's good. Jaren Grant. 4 for 5 from the field. He's got 10 points. And a rare 3-pointer.
And a timely 3-ball that time.
Sullinger goes at Porzingis and lays in. Porzingis has to be careful with the 4 fouls.
Sullinger knows it, so that time wheeling and dealing right around him.
Grant, by the way, before that three-pointer was 5 for 39 from three-point range. That's 13%. With a big one to put the Knicks up 1. Porzingis on, Smart knocks it in.
Porzingis using that elbow to get some room that time, 15 feet away.
Crowd into it. Bradley hands off to Turner. 5 to shoot. Porzingis goes for the fake, trying to stay in front. Sullinger goes. Porzingis picks up his 5th foul. Now a huge decision for Derek Fisher. They didn't like the call. Now without Carmelo Anthony, do you keep your rookie out there with 5 personals? We'll find out when we come back. Knicks up 3 here in the 4th. Welcome back to Madison Square Garden. Knicks hanging on to a 3-point lead. Our game summary brought to you by Hyundai. Knicks had a great start, led by 14 in the first half, shooting lights out. And the Celtics in the second half have turned up the defense. The key for the Knicks, no Carmelo Anthony. Will not play for the rest of the game after turning his left ankle. And now Kristaps Porzingis, picking up his 5th foul, will sit. And this is going to be a huge stretch. Lopez, Derek Williams, Aflalo, Galloway, and Jaren Grant.
Yes, Sullinger going to work. Previously had an 18-foot jumper. Then he knew Porzingis was in foul woes, penetrated around him to score. And then most recently, coming along the baseline, getting Porzingis in the air, drawing the foul. So he misses the first one, has one more coming. And that, Mike, that embellishes KP, why he has to get stronger. Sullinger 6'9", 270. So he just manipulated underneath the basket to draw that foul against KP.
Galloway. Flalo now with a bigger man on him. Posting up Crowder. Back out Galloway. Puts up a 3. And Sullinger, excellent boxing out. Sullinger's had a 20-rebound game this year.
And he's in sync right now. So he's a force to be reckoned with.
Jerebko, Bradley, Crowder. Turner gets inside. Turner finds Sullinger. Gorgeous feed, and it's tied again.
Sullinger, much heralded coming out of Ohio State. Propelling the Celtics now.
Bradley harassing Grant. Bradley, an excellent defender.
Flalo, the only Knick with the knack.
That one way short. Ball movement has not been as good. Knicks had 13 assists in the first half. They just have 4 in the second half. Crowder wants it. He's got Galloway on him. Big height advantage there. Galloway, good smart defender. Turner gets inside and lays it in. The first Celtic lead since midway through the first.
Turner 6'7", Double A 6'5". So exploitation in the paint now by the Celtics.
Bradley bumps Grant. Grant back to Lopez, and he lays it in. Nice floater from Robin Lopez.
And Grant creating now. Doing a good job of breaking down the D, giving Lopez that opportunity.
Grant has given Derek Fisher some good minutes tonight.
Yeah, Calderon has not scored.
Tough matchup here for him, though, Clyde. Turner gets inside. I don't know if Lopez got a piece of it, but he certainly altered it. Williams drives and trying to dribble it, I think, behind his back. Here's Turner. Celtics have numbers to Bradley, and Bradley lays it in.
That was an errant pass. Good job by Bradley to come up with it. We mentioned the Celtics lead the league in forcing turnovers, so a good job that time.
Knicks down by 2 now as we approach the midway point of the 4th. How long will Derek Fisher leave Porzingis on the bench? Flalo gets across the lane and is fouled.
Hey, Jay.
So 2 free throws for Flalo. With the Knicks down by 2.
These two
Crowder's first.
These two teams have been doing this for 70 years, Mike.
Yeah.
I was a part of this action. Our arch rival, the Celtics. We've got a good one going tonight.
Rattled fouls in the first, coming up the Foxwoods final 5. Foxwoods, the wonder of it all. Of all the Celtics you played over the years, who's the guy you respected the most?
It had to be Bill Russell. He was the catalyst for their championships. Guy who set the tempo, most dominant player, could intimidate an entire team with his shot block.
All right, who's the one you hated the most?
No, I never hated them. Out of respect. You know, it was just a lot of respect that you had for them because of their winning tradition.
Sullinger. Teams exchanging buckets now. Sullinger has 9 of his 11 points here in the fourth.
Here in the last 4 minutes, Mike. Yep. He's had those.
Calderon is back in.
Calderon gets to score.
Flalo again. He has been guaranteed in that shot in the paint.
Yeah, Crowder no match for AA right now.
Flalo now for the game has 20. After a slow start offensively, Sullinger fakes. Lopez went for it. Sullinger drives, count it, and one. Sullinger putting on a show here on the fourth as the Celtics go back up by 2.
Yeah, the big man showing good agility and mobility, breaking down the Knicks defense that time.
And we'll have a timeout.
We mentioned Sullinger, 6'9", 270. Penetrating, creating. When we return, he's at the line looking for one more.
Down by 2 with 5:12 remaining here in the fourth. All new beginnings from growing up in a tough neighborhood. He learned how to handle adversity both on and off the court. Tomorrow night on MSG, go home with former Knick Charles Smith on an all new beginnings presented by Audi. Tomorrow night after Knicks Nets on MSG. Well, this is where the Celtics have struggled in close games as we look at tonight's player matchup brought to you by Lexus, the official luxury vehicle of the Knicks. Who's their go-to guy down the stretch? Normally Isaiah Thomas. Tonight it's been Jay Crowder. Crowder here in this fourth quarter has been magnificent.
So he and AA have been going at it. AA's gotten the better of Crowder the last 2 times in the paint.
Correct. Sullinger's been the one here in the fourth quarter that's been magnificent. 11 of his 13. Crowder overall, as we said earlier, has had a stretch where he's just become a consistent scorer.
Sullinger looking for more. Trying to complete the conventional 3-point play.
So Sullinger now with 12 of his 14 here in this fourth. Porzingis still sitting with the 5 fouls. Knicks down 3. This equals the largest lead of the game for Boston. Grant is back in with Calderon. Galloway sat. Grant came in. Aflalo again over Bradley. Shot is up and good. That's become automatic for Aaron Aflalo, who's got 22.
Posting and toasting 10 feet away that time. Thomas has been silent, so look for him to try to get on track.
Sullinger to Crowder.
Right now they're featuring Sullinger though.
Screen set, and Isaiah Thomas with a miss. Grant drives, finds Derek Williams, struggled with it, gets it back, counted and one. Lost the handle momentarily and wound up with a chance for a 3-point play.
Precarious passing by the Knicks, but they get a break. Watch how close this comes to a turnover. Bounce pass, Celtics almost had it. Williams defiant underneath, so he's at the line for 1.
10 points, 9 rebounds off the bench, and he ties. Make that 11 and 9, and the Knicks go up by 2 with 4:19 remaining.
Were the Knicks leading after 3, Mike?
Yes, by 4. They were up 85-81.
You know they're invincible usually when they do that. But now the game hanging in the balance.
Sullinger, short, rebound tip to Flalo, dives on it. Bradley dives on it. Calderon trying to get it. Grant. And a jump ball. It's that perfect example. If you're on the floor with a ball, you can pretty much do anything and you won't get called for a foul as Grant dived on Bradley.
We've seen a lot of this tonight. Hell-bent, steadfast type of play, fearless, reckless abandon. And this time the Celtic coach could not call a timeout. It's a jump ball.
Love the way Grant is playing tonight. 10 points and 4 assists. He's played 19 minutes. You're watching the Foxwoods Final Five. Foxwoods, the wonder of it all. Visit foxwoods.com. Sullinger comes out as Amir Johnson is in, and Porzingis gets off the bench with 4 minutes remaining and gets a huge ovation. Robin Lopez will sit. Fouls for Porzingis. He leads the Knicks with 24 points, but he's been in foul trouble much of the second half, and his height immediately pays dividends.
They want to follow. He's been unstoppable.
Porzingis on the catch, backs up against Johnson, drives, pulls up, jumper, got it!
That's the type of fortitude the neophyte has shown. Languishing on the bench all this time. Come right in right away and drain a 10-foot jumper.
First, he grabs the possession on the jump ball, knocks it down. Knicks have scored 7 straight.
He's got Spike Lee on the run.
Porzingis now with 26 points, Clyde.
Let's take a look at KP. Good manipulation. Johnson 6'9". No match for the 7'3" Porzingis. So the Celtics talk it over.
Another sellout crowd here at Madison Square Garden. Just under 3.5 remaining here in the fourth. The Knicks, after blowing a 14-point lead, trailed by 3 here in the fourth, but Kristaps Porzingis just hit a jumper, and the Knicks back up by 4. Isaiah Thomas, 31 points for Boston. Porzingis has 26 for the Knicks.
Thomas hasn't scored in a while, though. Sullinger was catapulting the Celtics. Inexplicably, they took him out of the game.
Bradley to Amir Johnson. Johnson spins. Again, Porzingis playing with 5 fouls. Crowder knocks it down. Porzingis got knocked to the ground by Johnson. As Crowder hits a 3, he's got 19.
They got Bradley on AA now. Crowder had no success with him.
Grant pulls back, finds Porzingis off the dribble. Back up top to Grant. Shot clock down to 4. Grant to Porzingis. Puts up a 3. Thomas the rebound.
Knicks too stagnant that time, going nowhere.
Thomas on the drive, blows past, keeps his dribble. Crowder another 3. And Porzingis is just fouled out of the game.
Showing a neophyte blunder right there.
He doesn't like the call, but again, that's a rookie mistake. You have to stay away from that. And it's going to be a 3-shot foul. So for the first time in his NBA career, he fouls out.
Crowd still paying homage to him as he goes to the bench, but obviously rookie folly that time. Oh, you see he left his feet much too early. He didn't go vertical, he went horizontal.
And he was arguing, but that's what they've been calling. You got to give the shooter space to come down. And just a mistake by Porzingis.
Crowder normally not a good 3-baller, but he's been efficient tonight. Looking to propel the Celtics into the lead.
Now 20 points for Crowder and a disappointed Porzingis. So the Knicks now without Porzingis and without Carmelo Anthony, who only played 19 minutes, sprained his ankle, and is done for the night.
Then KP, after sitting on the bench, came in, got a big tip and then a big basket, igniting the Knick in the crowd, and now he's done for the evening.
There's Derek Fisher watching that 6th foul.
Saying, why? Why? What are you doing?
The growth of an NBA rookie, Clyde.
Yeah, you got to live with his grandeur and the folly.
Flalo.
They're doubling him now.
Here comes the double. Flalo gets away from that.
Good job by Crowder.
Grant inside the Lopez. Lopez with the hook shot is good. Good look from Grant for his 5th assist.
Good poise and patience that time by the Knicks. Lopez looking and hooking from 8 feet away.
15 points for Lopez. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining.
Neither team can get a stop right now. They're trading baskets.
Crowder tied up. Turner for three. Misses, and Grant the rebound. Grant throws it down the floor to Williams. Williams throws it in. What a pass from Grant. And the Knicks go up by 3.
2 splendid passes from Grant. One to find Lopez, that one to find D. Will.
Thomas inside to Johnson, and he lays it up and in.
Grant knocked it away, but right into the hands of Johnson. So Grant having one of his better Knick performances now.
Jaron Grant with perhaps his finest game as a Knick. Playing crunch time minutes, 10 points, 6 assists.
And the last 2 dishes. Looking for a switch this time.
Tied up, finds a Aflalo gets it to go. And the Knicks go back up by 3. Timeout Boston. Aaron Aflalo with some big buckets here in the 4th.
And Grant, the orchestrator. So he's made the good passes. Let's take a look at Grant's prowess right here, keeping his head up. And Williams will be the beneficiary as he gets ahead of the field. Before that, Grant found Lopez in the paint. And then Aaron Aflalo. Aflalo just infallible, indomitable, incredible down the stretch with fall away baby jumper right in front of the Knicks bench.
10 of his 24 here in the 4th quarter. And again, interesting substitution. Derek Fisher going with Grant down the stretch as opposed to Galloway. And Grant has come through. Now Boston down 3 will have possession.
And again, we mentioned the Knicks have stopped their hacking and whacking. So they only have 3 team fouls. They can be aggressive.
And the Celtics are in the penalty. Also, Boston only has 1 timeout left. Knicks have a couple. Knicks trying to win down the stretch of a close game without Carmelo Anthony and Kristaps Porzingis.
Crowder, the only Celtic with a hot hand. Thomas has cooled off.
The runner backs it in. Bradley. Quick bucket. And it's back to 1.
Bradley saw Calderon on him using his quickness to beat him to the hoop.
Now they've switched. They've put Marcus Smart on Grant. A Smart back in the game for his defense. Grant picks up his dribble.
Smart has the 5 fouls.
Shot clock down to 7 again. Grant off the dribble. Gets inside. The runner is up. Backs it in. Jaron Grant puts the Knicks back up 3. He's 5 of 6 from the field. He's tied his career high with 12. Thomas falling away. Oh, Thomas knocks it down. Big shot after big shot here in the 4th.
Yeah, previously Bradley inside. Thomas the 15-footer. The Knicks want to talk it over.
A timeout call by Derek Fisher. Knicks will be down to 1 timeout remaining. 43.7 seconds left. Knicks clinging to a 1-point lead.
Let's take a look at Grant. The neophyte has been a delight tonight, dishing and swishing.
And he got fouled on that as well. Knicks ball when we come back.
Isaiah Thomas shaking him up as the Knicks talk it over.
Knicks up by 1 with 43.7 remaining. Celtics slow to come out of the timeout. Aflalo will inbound. Calderon is back in with Grant. Aflalo, Lopez, Derek Williams. Williams looking.
Good denial by Thomas.
Grant gets it back. Grant on the drive. Falls down and he got bumped. And Grant will go to the free throw line. 5 on the shot clock as Amir Johnson knocks him down.
Grant, one of the better free throw shooters on this Knicks team. So
there's the bump
there.
Grant, one of 7 Knicks who are shooting over 80% from the free throw line.
Under duress right now.
He's at 85%. Porzingis 6 fouls. He played a marvelous game. But he can only watch now as Sullinger's going to come back in.
I said, why did they take Sullinger out? He was pulverizing the Knicks at one time. They took him out of the game.
So both coaches going some offense-defense matchups. Lance Thomas comes in for Calderon. As the Knicks discussing matchups, who will guard who. I think Lance Thomas is going to guard Isaiah Thomas. Grant, 2 clutch free throws. Career high 14 for the rookie from Notre Dame. Knicks back up 3. Lance Thomas is guarding Isaiah Thomas. Sullinger back to Isaiah Thomas. Drive, shot, no good. Williams the rebound.
Good job by Lopez.
They have to foul, and there's the foul. Grant's going to go back to the line.
Thomas turned the corner. Lopez would hear none of it. So the Knicks trying to put this game away. Watch Isaiah. He's going to get inside. But to no avail. Lopez right there to harass him.
Celtics with just 1 timeout remaining. Thomas with the drive. He thought he was hit. Grant hits another. We got the Ford Knicks post game coming up. We'll hear from all those involved and plenty of analysis.
Knicks thriving on adversity tonight. The loss of Melo, then KP. They continue to be undaunted. Grant now, one of their heroes, looking for one more.
Jaren Grant with his finest hour in his brief NBA career. Knicks up by 5. Thomas on the drive. And Lopez with the block. It's not a goaltend. And 2 free throws coming up for Isaiah Thomas with 11.9 remaining. It's certainly not over yet. Thomas hits these 2, it becomes a 3-point game.
Watch Thomas draw the contact along the baseline. Right there. He was able to get the official to blow the whistle.
And Lopez got it just in time before it went off the glass. Thomas 10 for 10 from the free throw line, 33 points.
The last time Thomas got inside, Lopez denied him. He thought he was fouled on that play, but this time he would not be denied along the baseline. Has one more coming.
Turner comes back in. A key for the Knicks now is obviously to inbound the ball. They're down to 1 timeout left and get free throw shooters on. Calderon is going to check in.
Calderon, no points tonight, only 2 shots.
Thomas sits down. Isaiah Thomas with 1 more free throw. Misses. Ball tipped and taken by Lopez. And Lopez gets it to Grant. Grant has it. They don't foul. Throws it ahead to Derek Williams. Williams slams it in. And the Knicks are going to win again. What a finish. Final seconds. Turner gets out of the way. A thrilling gut check win for the Knicks as they beat the Celtics here at Madison Square Garden.
Heroes abound tonight. So early on it was KP and Melo, then the loss of Melo, the loss of KP. Aflalo posted it Tosin, and then Grant having his finest moment as a Knick.
Porzingis fouling out. Carmelo Anthony, as Clyde mentioned, an ankle injury.